us from London, Dr. Marcos Papadopoulos, an expert in international relations and Middle Eastern affairs. Hello, sir. We're so happy to have you. As you're speaking right now about the recent movements, some countries are evacuating their communities and diplomatic staff from the region, and we can see the American carriers will arrive to the Middle East within a week. So these movements, what are they indicating to? In light of this tension between Israel and Iran, and also its ally, the US?
Well, whilst on the face of it, American military deployments to the region can be seen as an impending American military attack on Iran, I am of the opinion, however, that the Trump administration will not proceed with a military strike on Iran. And the reason is quite simple. Like with previous American administrations, such as the Clinton administration and the Obama administration, the Trump administration understands that any military attack on Iran, a concerted military attack on Iran, would result in West Asia going up in one massive fireball, because the Iranian armed forces are very large, are very powerful, are very well equipped, and are supported by the vast majority of the Iranian population. Thus, Iran would fight, and Iran would fight to the death. American military bases in the region would be struck. American naval vessels operating in the region would also be struck. Of course, if the Americans decide on an all-out land and air and sea offensive against Iran, then eventually the Americans, being a military superpower, would win. But at what cost? Thousands upon thousands of American soldiers would die. America would be embroiled in a very lengthy conventional war, and also afterwards a guerrilla war. And that would spell the end for Donald Trump's grassroots fan base, meaning MAGA, because the American people elected Trump, overwhelmingly elected Trump, to make sure that America will not involve itself in wars of aggression. So whilst the American deep state would very much like to turn Iran into how it was during the days of the Shah, namely a playground for the West, even the American deep state understands that in trying to do so, America would be posed with terrible, terrible dangers.
In light of these consequences that the U.S. can be suffering from, as you have mentioned, Dr. Marcus, of course, so we know advisors in the U.S. are giving military options, multiple military options to Trump. In light of this concern and current tensions in the region, so, but also in addition to the Israeli pressure to strike Iran again, or at least strike the Iranian facilities. How do you see the movements? What is a possible scenario, especially after President Putin call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu trying to mitigate the tension in the region? What is a possible scenario in your opinion?
Like with all previous American administrations, Israel exerts great influence and power in the current American administration. And of course, Israel, for many years now, has been exploring, has been trying to provoke a war between Iran and America. A war between America and Iran would not be to the benefit of either Washington or Tehran, but of course it would be to the benefit of Tel Aviv. Israel is looking for ways for its arch enemy, Iran, to be destroyed. Israel cannot destroy Iran. We saw that last year in the missile war between Iran and Israel. Israel received devastating attacks from the Iranians. So the Israeli military cannot destroy Iran. which means the Israelis look towards America to destroy Iran. But how can the Americans do that apart from carrying out a ground invasion of Iran, which I believe is simply inconceivable, which means the Americans would carry out, like they did against Serbia in 1999, a concerted air attack against Iran, and also the American Navy would take part in that by firing, for example, cruise missiles at Iran. But an air attack against Iran will not bring down the Iranian government. It will not destroy the Iranian revolution. In fact, it will galvanize the Iranian people even more so into supporting their government. So, for example, I have come across in my time... Yes?
I got your point, sir. And we're going to follow what is happening in these developments. I would like to thank Dr. Marcos Papadopoulos, an expert in international relations and Middle Eastern affairs.